Peugeot 205, but this time the running order very, very different. As we see, Graham Smith in car number 4 in lead, being chased over by Andy Thrush in the Darien T9 Ford. Remember, he won his first qualifier this afternoon. 93 gets it very, very wrong coming into the Devil's Elbow. We ride again with Cliff Butler, who's challenging John Harvick in the newly re-engined MG Midget, coming down into paddock turn. Cliff Butler through now past John Harvick, but oh, look at in front of him. He's got Bill Richards, he's got Andy Thrush, and he's got Graham Smith in the very, very rapid Stumming Stiletto. So Cliff Butler now lying in 4th place. In front of him, well, the man who had a battle all the way around this circuit in our first qualifier for this category earlier on this afternoon with 2nd place man Peter White. Now looks, there's Peter White 22, in fact as they go around, 184, that's Paul McMillan in the second of our Peugeot 205s here, as a very, very wide Cliff Butler comes into the Devil's Elbow, then around the North Bend hairpin, a wide line there by Andy Thrush, means a challenge coming on now, I feel, for Cliff Butler to come down the descent of Harry Hill, and all the while the two erstwhile lightweight cars of the number 4 cast, the Stiletto of Graham Smith and Bill Richards 26 and the unique Cosworth engine Metro, still being chased there by Andy Thrush in the Darien T9, and the first of our saloons in this category, Cliff Butler, who looks a very, very wide line going around Chestnut's Drift. That's the wrong line to take coming into the Devil's Elbow, but don't forget these inter-saloon cars, a very, very unique suspension set upon these, means the corners will be taken very, very tightly indeed, and still chasing the very powerful and immaculate Darien of Andy Thrush all the way up the ascent of Harry Hill. A challenge there on the inside. Cliff Butler manoeuvres himself through on the inside of Andy Thrush, moves himself up into 3rd place. Andy Thrush comes back at him, coming down the descent of Harry Hill. Peter White still there in 5th place, but it's Cliff Butler through now into 3rd place in the Peugeot 205. The battle going on for 1st and 2nd, still between Graham Smith and Bill Richards as they go down past the commentary box, past the start line here, and they go into Chestnut's Drift. So Graham Smith under an awful lot of pressure now from Bill Richards. These two very lightweight space frame cars, very similar in their construction, but Graham Smith version just a moment has the edge as Cliff Butler has a look on the outside approach into the Devil's Elbow at Bill Richards, who now looks on the inside going into the North Bend hairpin. Cliff Butler all the way around the outside in the Peugeot. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very close indeed, but not too far behind there in 4th place. Still Andy Thrush, the Darien T9 Ford, and in 5th place there's still Peter White in the second of our starlets in this category, Unit Saloon starlet of 22, Peter White, still there in 5th place. But the battle going on now all the way around this 1 mile circuit here. What a superb finish to the circuit as we know it here this afternoon, with some real battles going on and some superb motor racing for you, and of course catching the action right here on Screen Sport, courtesy, I may add, of World Action Sports Productions here this afternoon. So Graham Smith, Bill Richards, Cliff Butler, the 1, 2, 3, very, very close indeed. It's going to go right down to the wire, this one. Graham Smith still leading Bill Richards as they come down the descent of Harry Hill. Cliff Butler still there in 3rd place. Still this battle going on for 4th and 5th between Andy Thrush and Peter White. And a fine win there for Graham Smith, number 4. 2nd place goes to Bill Richards, and 3rd place, as you'll see coming up very, very shortly, in the Peugeot 205. Cliff Butler, 4th place there for Andy Thrush, the Darien T9, and Peter White is 5th. Drive Vauxhall Nova with its garishly painted white and day-glow red paintwork comes right through from the back of the grid. He's done so much here at Lydden this year in this category. As we go, and they of course again, like the trucks, use the 3/4 circuit. We ride in fact with Stephen Nance all the way around the first lap here. Now he's going to make his way right up from the back of the group because he is one of the top drivers in this category. The slower drivers in this event start from the front, the faster guys start from the back. So the fast guys will move their way all the way up from the back row all the way around this circuit. They have got quite a few laps to do here. I think this lap there's a 12-lap race for this final. But there you see the Vauxhall Nova going through there. Car number 6, Stephen Dance. He's chasing all manner of people in this category, and that's all the way over. That is number 43 who goes all past Martin Rolls. Literally Martin Rolls on the entry into the Devil's Elbow, and that's in a very dangerous position right there on the entry into the left-hander, and not quite sure if he's getting out of the car. It would appear unaided, but I think we must have surely a red flag situation here. The marshals instantly on the scene there. You saw they just kept the curve, and Martin rolls his starlet once, twice, and in fact 3 times, well 2.5 times basically. And yes, as ever present, the fire and rescue crews crewed this afternoon by Colin Duncan and Richard de Coverley, and our paramedic here this afternoon for Mr. Bob Sheridan. We restart this race, the Inter-Saloon Grand Final here this afternoon. This will sort out the winner of the overall series, as I said before, so we thought a full rerun of this race. As they come now into camera one, which is on the camera on the exit on the outside, should I say, of Cheshunt's Drift. It's number 88 there, Chris Griggs, who leads. One of the starlets coming through there in second place. We ride again with Stephen Dance as he comes through and makes his way through this enormous traffic jam here. Very, very close racing for these guys. That's Martin Schilliford going off there on the exit of the Devil's Elbow, around the three-quarter hairpin for all these guys. Still Stephen Dance fighting his way through some of the traffic here. Watch as he gets down to the straight. He will try it out, an inside line dart into Cheshunt's Drift as he comes past one of the new cars in this category, from the Renault 5s. Been brought in now, rear-wheel drive converted, much now the Renault car to have, and that's 80. Colin Weldon getting it wrong, going around Cheshunt's Drift. So Colin Weldon, one of our top runners here, throws the race away for him, this final race here for him this afternoon. But still we ride with Stephen Dance. Sets about chasing all manner of cars in front of him. You see the rear spoiler there of the car for SHP Motorsport. That stands for Sonny Howard Motorsport. Very much a driving force within production and producing Inter-Saloon cars and hot rods in the UK here. But Stephen Dance cannot get past Neil Facey at the moment, who is a top driver, again in car number 4 in this category, all the way around the inside approach and the outside and the inside exit of Cheshunt's Drift. So that's a tight line for these cars. Now the dart down the outside line there as they go into the inside of the Devil's Elbow, the left-hander, then a flick right into the Ford Escort Mark 1 of Mick Tester, who today brings with him his new sponsors for, hopefully for next year as well, the Carlube organisation. There he is, this absolutely immaculate Mark 1 Escort with his Formula 5000 suspension and steering geometry and this big Rover 3.6 litre V8 engine underneath the bonnet. Let's watch the leader going up and around the North Bend hairpin. Second place still there, Graham Smith. A very, very rapid Sammy Stiletto. Third place still the Darien of Andy Thrush, and the challenge there from Pete White, 22 in the Starlet. Still in fourth place there, fifth place shall I say, that's the Carlube Rover engine Escort of Mick Tester, who challenges for fourth, and the bonnet's come up on Pete White's Starlet. The bonnet flaps open on Peter White's Starlet. He knows he's got to pull off, otherwise he will get black flagged. Oh, that's a great shame after a fine run for him. What a lousy weekend for poor old Peter White in 22. A superb competitor here, both in the saloons and in special GTs. Well, that really has left the challenge open now to Bill Richards, just to keep at bay the harassing and biting at his ankles Stiletto in the hands of number 4, Graham Smith. As those two now some way clear of our third place round, which is going to be, I would say, Andy Thrush, as we go into paddock turn, then down and through and past the flag. So a fine win this afternoon for Bill Richards, second place Graham Smith, third place for Mick Tester. That's Special Saloons.